was a success story. And yet, I was miserable, painfully, suicidally anxious. What I learned was that unless you acknowledge the pain and the trauma and the struggle that we go through, either as primary trauma or secondary trauma, it will come out. Anybody who says, I went through everything and I emerged unscathed and unscarred, they are lying. You eventually pay the bill. All of us eventually pay the bill. If you have not yet paid your bill, it's coming. And it's got interest. So I made this decision that I did not want to be this way anymore. I was like, wow, I'm like 32 and I'm freaking miserable. And you know, statistics say I could live for like another 50 years like this. And so I made some really clear decisions about how I wanted to feel. And what I wanted to be was happy. So I did a ton of research, and I looked around and I read and I thought, because that's kind of how my brain works, and a very, very special man came into my life. Dr. Daniel Siegel. I am somewhat obsessed with his work. For those of you who don't know Dr. Siegel's work, he's done amazing stuff. And actually, I'm going to introduce you to his hand model of the brain, without which I'm not capable of speaking to people. All of my friends have had to learn it because I can't talk to anyone who doesn't know it. And so, you know, here's a picture of Dr. Siegel and I together. I really enjoyed that day with him. It was great. It's a very special picture to me. There we go. There he is. If Dr. Siegel ever comes up missing, please don't look at my house. He won't be there reading his collected works to me, I promise. I also have the YouTube link at the bottom, so you can just double click that.
That's what I was clicking on. I thought someone to launch.
He's on the screen though, if you turn around. Oh, it's doing it again. All right, I'm just going to teach it to you. We're going to go back to this. Let's go to our next slide. Huh?
Go ahead.
Nope. Bob,
What's going on here?
Breathe.
There we go. All right, stop. We're good. All right, here's what we're going to do. Dr. Siegel would say, Dan, to me, but you should probably call him Dr. Siegel. I don't know him that well. This is your hand, right? Put your hand up. Now, actually, this is now your brain. So this is your brain stem. This is your brain stem. It's coming up. This is how all your information comes in. This is your limbic system. This is your amygdala. Tuck your amygdala in. Here's your limbic system right here. And then let's close our hand. This is our cortex and our prefrontal cortex. This is our thinking parts. When we are doing well, quote unquote, when we are content, when we are feeling comfortable and safe and all those other things, we're like this. However, when we're under stress, we can flip our lids. Flip your lid. And what happens then is your prefrontal cortex, you lose all connection. Your thinking brain goes away. So I want to just test this with you a little bit. Ooh, I'm blind now, corneal transplant. Have any of you ever been in an argument with someone else?
No.
I know, it's just me.
One time back in the 90s.
One time back in the 90s, Stephanie was very angry, but now not since. So you've been in an argument with someone, and you hear in the back of your head, shut up. stop talking now. But you don't stop talking. You continue to talk. And then like 2 days later, you have to go back to the person and apologize. Anybody ever been in that situation? That is your desperate prefrontal cortex saying, please let me get back over the amygdala and limbic system. But it can't. Because you're so highly stressed and you're so overwhelmed that it just flips out because it's all fight, flight, freeze in that moment. I have a whole caveman thing I could do for you. We use fight, flight, freeze constantly. We use it when someone titles an email, as I said in my last email. Kablam! I just want to tell you, if you write an email that says, as I said in my last email, you are just writing, Dear Dummy. No one has ever gotten an email that said that and went, aw, isn't that so nice of them? They're reminding me that they already sent me this information. No. Kablam! So we use something that was meant to keep us safe from death, back in caveman times, to respond to a slightly annoying email. We go through life kind of like this. Now, I will tell you, it took me about 2.5 years of really intense self-work to get to a point where I was like this for the first time. I was driving, and I was like, ooh, kind of this warm feeling here. Kind of just driving. Am I having a heart attack? What's going on? And I was like, I think I might be content. It was a brand new feeling. This, given the amount of trauma and stress and all this stuff, had never happened for me. For many of the people with whom we work, this may have never happened. And for some of us, it may be a dimly remembered reality. But here's the deal. You've got to spend time like this. First of all, it makes you smarter. Having access to your prefrontal cortex means that you can do a better job of assisting persons served. But the other piece is, it makes you healthier. It gives you longevity in this work. It makes it so that when you get home in the afternoon, you're not angry and overwhelmed and upset. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about how often you can assess yourself to say, where am I feeling right now? Got to spend more time like that. So this is our triune brain model. I'm a little obsessed with this. So, reptilian brain, that survival instinct, all that's asking all the time is, am I safe? 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 Scanning, scanning, scanning. For some of the people with whom we work, and for some of us, the answer to that question for years has been no. And of course, each time that question is answered with no, our brain asks that question more frantically. So you come to a point where every single knock and sound and word and phone call is met with, am I safe? No. Bam. Am I safe? No. If by chance, am I safe, is met with yes, we go to, am I cared for? Am I loved? Am I nurtured? Do the people around me want what's best for me? Because if I'm sitting here, if I'm sitting at this table and I don't trust that the people around me want me to be safe and comfortable, well, I'm not going to leave my cookie alone. Forget my feelings. Forget allow you to be in charge of my safety and outcomes. Am I safe? Am I nurtured? Am I cared for? Do the people here want what's best for me? And only then do we get to, what do I think about this? Which basically means we're screwed. Because if we don't figure out a way to help people do this, they can't learn and they can't move forward. The first thing we need to do is to establish trust and safety. If we don't do that, nothing else we do matters. I will tell you that some of the people that we have worked with the longest, some of the people, I do a lot of work with schools, some of the people the schools struggle with the most, it's because they're like this all the time. And until we do this, nothing else happens. Am I safe? And it doesn't matter whether it's us that's making the person feel unsafe or not. Sometimes we get frustrated, especially those of us who work on units, those of us who work in group living environments. It's not fair that we have to pay for everything that someone has been through before they got to us. It's not fair, but it is. That is the truth of the work that we do. We pay for the sins, if you will, the errors and mistakes and damage done by people before us. We cannot pretend that we are not starting from the bottom of a mountain. And we cannot say it's not fair that I'm at the bottom of the mountain, so I'm going to pretend I'm not. It's not fair that this person insists on walking beside the van and taking nothing from it, even though they're at the end of their rope, just because they don't trust me because I'm the van driver. And other people who have driven the van have not been helpful. Some of the people who have driven the van have ridden right the freak over them, trying really hard. I usually swear a lot. The only time I really feel comfortable is when I'm training police officers. Every time I train police officers, they actually teach me new words. So, am I safe? Am I cared for? And then what do I think about this? So we talk about what it's like to make decisions. And we know that we actually don't make our best decisions under stress. We make some of our worst decisions under stress. We sink to the level of our training. We do not rise to the level of our abilities, all those other things. So when there's no stress, it's kind of like you have somebody coming to visit. They're coming in like a week. You're like, why would I load the dishwasher today? They're not coming in for a week. Why bother? I'm just going to have to load the dishwasher again. It makes no sense to vacuum. So, those first few days, they're coming in a week. You're like, no big deal. Now, 3 days before they show up is probably a really good time. You're right about here. Things are going good. You can actually, instead of just throwing everything under the sink, sort stuff out. Put stuff away. Sometimes we don't start then. Sometimes we decide to start right before they pull into the driveway. When people are pulling into the driveway, where are we stuffing stuff? Under the beds, in the closets, don't let them use that bathroom, whatever it is. We've got to figure out a way to make sure that we're always about 3 days before our guests show up. We're at that optimal level. We're ready. We're good, but I still have ample time. It's okay that that's a mess because we could deal with that tomorrow. Sometimes it feels like the guest is always pulling into the driveway and no one told us they were coming. And they're getting out of the car, and what the hell? We have to do everything right now. And we're yelling at the people around us, and we're freaking out. We are flat, flip-lit. We do not make good decisions when we're under stress. So the title of this talk was Making Good Decisions Under Stress, and what I need to tell you is we can't. As a race, we make bad decisions under stress. As a group, as a race, as a humankind, that's what I want. Humans do not make good decisions under stress. We have fight, we have flight, and we have freeze. You cannot run screaming from the room when a meeting gets stressful and you're overwhelmed and all those other things and somebody asks you for something. Well, you can. I want you just to imagine a situation in which you did that and then how that might work out for you the next day. You can run. You could freeze. Maybe no one knows that. Shit. Maybe they'll go away. Just go. That doesn't work. Freeze does not work. I've tried it. And then you'll fight. Fight doesn't help either. We get angry and we get defensive and we get mad when people don't agree with us. None of that is here. So how do we get our bosses, our colleagues, our friends, our finances, our kids, our future to get it together? You don't. No one is going to change. No one. Nothing is going to get better. So if you're sitting back waiting for things to get better, I'm going to be happy When this person stops doing this wrong, when my boss does this, when this client does this, when my kids, when my this, when my that, I need to let you know it's never going to happen. Because if you predicate being happy on something someone else does, when that thing happens, you're just going to change to something else. I don't know about you, but I have friends who are like, if I could just move to a house, I just want to be in a house. I'm tired of being in a condo. I want to be in a house. And they're in the house, and for like 5 months, the house is awesome. And they're like, you know what would be great is if I had a garage. And I'm like, you know what? I cannot help you. Because it has to come from here. If you're not like this, nothing from outside is going to make you like that. Ask yourself, if I can't avoid it, change it, or make it go away, what if I changed my response? What if I decided to stop letting it bother me? You know, my husband said, I don't make you do anything. You choose your feelings. And I used to go, kablam! Care for yourself every single day. I'm begging you. I'm a Buddhist, so I believe that we come back multiple times. However, I know that I will never live this life again. I will never be with these people. I'll never be with my husband in this role. I will never be with my son in this role again. I want you to remember that you deserve care. If you are not caring for yourself, you cannot drive the van. A runner cannot drive the van. It's not allowed in the rule book. So every day, you need to do something to care for yourself. You need to be honest about your ability to handle stress. How am I doing? And also be honest about what's going on for you, because I don't know about you, but I actually have a life outside of work. Anybody else here have that? One, you know, there's that one person outside of work that you occasionally, no, we all have lives outside of work. So we have these additional stressors. Be honest about what's going on for you. Create and use. You know, we all have these great care plans and sheets that we've all made up, and we're like, yeah, I'll fill in that, and I'll do this, and I'll do that, and then you throw it away, and then you're like, dun, 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 dun. I did a workshop on positivity maybe like 6 months ago, and I was walking down the hallway about a week later, and this woman saw me, and she was like, damn it! What? She said, oh my God, I went to your workshop on positivity, and I totally meant to be positive this week, and I have not been positive once! I was like, oh, I'm really sorry. Like, you can try again now. Like, you could start today. We all make these great plans, and we're going to change everything, and everything's going to be different. If you don't do it, it won't happen. I promise you. Develop relationships. I love being at events like this when I see the relationships we have. We need a village. You have to develop relationships with one another that allow for honesty and that bring you support. This is your village, right here. I can't help it. There's something in the back of my head that's saying that there's probably somewhere in the village. Never mind, I'm going to leave it. We have to learn and develop skills and enhance trainings. You have to continue to learn. You have to continue to grow. How many of you have been in this work for more than 20 years? How many of you feel that the work has changed in that time? We are doing things differently. You know, when I talk to teachers, I often say, for those of you who became a teacher 20 years ago, I apologize. This is not the job you signed up for. And for some of us, it's the same thing. We have changed radically in our approach to person served. And that's not easy. And if we don't continue to grow and learn, it's going to be a very frustrating world in which to work. You know, I could talk to you about the strategies for stress reduction and for caring for self and for self-nurturing, but Siri could also do that. If the work that you're doing could be replaced by Siri, you're not doing good work. So if you change, if you decide you want to do something differently, if you decide, you know what, I am not happy, I am not like this, and you have the power to be like this, if you do not believe that that power is in your hands, you're wrong. I'm just going to say it. You decide whether or not you're happy. Now, there are terrible things that happen, and there are intense situations, there are all these other things, but you have a baseline. And you can decide if that baseline is happy. So if you decide to do something differently, just ask Siri. Siri, how do I get happier? She'll give you about 1 billion different ways. You can explore them all. And we know that just the act of exploring those opportunities will make you happier. If you keep a gratitude journal, even if you look at your gratitude journal and you say, I can't think of a blessed thing, I am grateful for nothing, you will still be happier. Just from the act of thinking about things to be what's that word? Grateful for. You have the power to live a happier, healthy life. You just have to decide to do so. How to make good decisions under stress. You can't. We simply do not have access to that thinking portion of our brain. We've got to get better at handling our stress. We've got to continually ask ourselves, where am I in the hand model of the brain? Dan taught me, when we met and spent time together, and this picture was taken, that what was happening to me was a process. I was horribly stressed, and my brain was constantly flat out like this, which means that I had almost no chance of learning from my mistakes, developing new strategies, or even growing as a human being until I did this. He taught me I had a lot of power, which was an amazing message. So many times we feel run over by what's happening around us. We're at the mercy of the people and events. But actually, we are enormously powerful. You cannot fix anyone else by breaking yourself. It doesn't work. Actually, I just woke up one day and decided I didn't want to feel like that anymore. So I changed. And when we talk to people about their experiences of change, it truly is that dramatic. I'm not going to change, I'm not going to change, I'm thinking about change, today I'm going to change. Maybe for you, today is the day you're going to change. Today is the day that you're going to decide that you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be content. That's not a heart attack. That warmth is a feeling of satisfaction and comfort. Be in love with your life, every minute of it. I am deeply grateful to each one of you for being here today. I'm deeply grateful to you for the work that you do, both inside and outside of the Department of Mental Health. I believe in you deeply. And I appreciate this time that we've spent together and all the time we'll spend together in the future. Thank you so much.